the notes on 7.5 and 7.6. We did the Desmos activity, and I'm hoping that from that activity you are going to start to see the relationship between this. So we've already explored and tried to find these, and then this is just kind of the formal summary of what we were doing. So we have different forms for equations. We have slope-intercept form, which is right here. M represents the slope. I'm hoping you saw that from the Desmos activity, and B is the y-intercept. Again, you should have seen that from the Desmos activity, but also remember, to get a y-intercept, you plug in 0 for x. If I plug 0 into x here, this will cancel, and I'm left with the y-intercept. So that's why B is the y-intercept. In point-slope form, we have y minus the y-coordinate of a point. This doesn't have to be the intercept. It could be any point. M is the slope, x minus the x-coordinate of the point. Okay. There is another form called standard form, and when equations are in this form, it's difficult for us to see important information, the slope or anything like that. So for now, we're going to change these to slope-intercept form. And we did this before. You did this when I asked you to solve the literal equation for y. You did this before, and now when we change to slope-intercept form, we're going to get some really great information. So in the first slide, I'm going to ask you to try these on your own. So to push pause, try these on your own, and then come back and check the answers. Okay? Again, identify the form. So is this point slope or slope intercept? It's slope intercept. So you should be able to identify the slope. And because it's slope intercept, the point I gave you was 1. Okay? So if you want to try these on your own, you can do that now. And then push play by pushing pause, and then come back and push play when you're ready. Okay, so in this, since it's in slope-intercept form, I know this is a slope of 2, and this is my y-intercept is 1, and we write y-intercepts with 0, comma, the number. So I plotted 0, comma 1. There's my point, because I need to know where on the plane this is going to be, so 0, comma 1. And then I use the slope to plot the next point. 2 is the same as 2 over 1. So my rise is going to be 2 for every 1 I go over. So I'm going to go up 2 over 1, plot a point. Up 2 over 1, plot a point. And you could do this all day long. In this one, again, the slope is -3. The y-intercept is 0, comma 5. Okay, so first I plotted my point of 0, 5. Then I rose -3, so I went down 3 over 1. Down 3 over 1. And you could do this all day long. You also could have gone +3. I know this line isn't lining up perfectly. And then -1, that would have been the same thing. All right, here are 2 more. So if you just watched before, I would like you this time to try these on your own and then come back. So please push pause now. All right, so here you'll see I have the slope and the y-intercept. I plotted the y-intercept of 0, -1. I rose 3, I ran 5, and you could keep doing this. Rise 3, run 5. You could do this all day. In this one, some people struggle with where is the y-intercept. Well, there's nothing here. The y-intercept is 0. So your y-intercept is 0, comma 0. I went down 1 and right 4. Remember, we talked about how to show slope in a decreasing. Down 1, right 4. In the next ones, I have point slope form. The form changed. The number in front of the parentheses is the slope. And again, you should have seen that from the Desmos, and we also talked about that in the beginning of this video. The point, be careful to get the point that's given. What's being subtracted from x here? Hopefully you're saying 1. What's being subtracted from y? 3. So when you're doing that, what's being subtracted from x? 1. What's being subtracted from y? 3. So my point given is 1, comma 3. Down here, be careful. And we'll talk about that one, but give these a try. And then, so push pause, come back. All right, in this one, the slope was 4. I talked to you about the slope being 1, comma 3. So again, start by plotting your point, 1, 3, rise 4, run 1. You could do it again, rise 4, run 1. You also could go -4, -1, because a double negative move makes a positive. In this one, I'm hoping you were probably okay with the slope being 1/3. But again, when you're doing point slope form, to ask yourself about the point, what am I subtracting from x? 1. What am I subtracting from y? Well, that looks tricky, but you have to think, what would I subtract so it would turn into a plus? Well, if I subtract a -2, then that's why this is 1, -2. So I went over 1, down 2. That's my point, 1, -2 right here. Rise 1, run 3. So be careful with the signs. You're always asking yourself, what am I subtracting from the variable? Right? In the last slide, again, try these on your own this time, and then come back and check your answers. So please push pause now. All right. Slope here, -3/4. Again, what am I subtracting from x? Well, to get a +4, I would subtract a -4. So notice the change of sign here. What would I subtract from y to get +1 and -1? So I plotted the point. Then I went down 3 over 4. And again, you could go down 3 over 4 again. In this one, it's that standard form that I don't really know any important information yet. So I solved it for y. I turned it into slope-intercept form. That's what's there. So the slope is 3/2. The y-intercept is -2. So I plotted 0, -2, rose 3, run 2. Again, you could keep doing that. Plot many points if you'd like. So in standard form, you're not going to be able to just pull the information out. You're going to have to switch it to slope-intercept by solving for y. Okay, so I subtracted 3x from both sides. That's what happened here. And then I divided both sides by a -2. That's why the sign change happened here. Okay, on Canvas, I will have the homework.